Run Your Story family, this is Allison Gilliard with Run Your Story, where every story needs to be heard. I'm so excited and honored to share my amazing friend, Helen Hanson-Smith, and her Run Your Story. Helen is also a Fresh Junkie ambassador, and that's how we met. And that is what I love about the running community, is the opportunity to become a Fresh Junkie ambassador, not only to represent this amazing company that we believe in, but it brought whole new runners into my life that I wouldn't have gotten to meet otherwise. And so truly thankful for that and for Fresh Junkie putting us together. And guys, Helen is an absolute doll, just amazing. And we have become instant friends, like just love her. And you guys are gonna love her too. She has such an incredible story. She's an overcomer. She's so stinking brave and really, really fast. The thing that I love that Helen pointed out is that when we talk about running or walking or the distance, we'll be like, oh, well, I'm just doing the half, or I'm just doing the full, or I'm just doing a 5K, or my pace is just XYZ, whatever it is. But we are more than that. And that's what I love about this running community, is that we truly mean it when we say your pace, your race, or your distance. Like, it is totally up to you. And we are so much more than that in our identity as a runner. And so, as Helen says, stop saying that. You are not just a mom. You are not just a dad. You're not just a daughter. You're not just a businesswoman. You are so much more than all of that. And you're not just a runner or just a walker. You are more than that. And I love that so much. I also love Helen's, like, how she dove really deep psychologically into a hat. And yeah, now I'm believing that. So thanks, Helen, for that. Thank you for your friendship, my dear. I absolutely adore you. And guys, I love that I got to meet her in person. We've been talking for a while, and then we met in person at the Women's Resource Center, the 5K in Sims. And it was so exciting because she won overall female. And I was like, wait, I know that person. And so we got to meet right then and there, and that was such a cool moment, and I absolutely love that. So get to know her. She's absolutely phenomenal. I would love to introduce you to her. She lives in Fairhope, so she runs over there, but she comes over here to races as well. And so, again, somebody you're going to want to get to know. She also talks about how not only in running, but also in life, there are hills and valleys. And as much as we hate the hills, we have to get through the hills to get to that finish, and so much truth there. And you guys are really going to be blown away by her story. Just absolutely incredible. So guys, so thankful for that. And speaking of Fresh Junkie and being thankful, they are powering this podcast this month, and we are so excited and thankful for them. Not only do they put on amazing events and they take into consideration the volunteers and the runners, they do so much when it comes to community. Guys, they have 24 events that they manage, market, and produce across the great states of Louisiana, Georgia, Florida, Mississippi, Missouri, and our amazing state, Alabama. They create these moments to remember for 50,000 participants. Guys, they understand what it means to plan, train, and cross the finish. They work hard, train hard, and race hard, and they never lose focus on their why. Neither do we as runners. So Fresh Junkie Racing produces races that not only help an economic impact, but also charitable impact as well. Oh man, so needed, and so thankful for these guys. I'm so excited to be running not only as a Fresh Junkie ambassador, but to be running these races coming up. Mississippi Gulf Coast, Louisiana, War Eagle Fest, guys, and like I'm still eyeing a couple others. So definitely check them out on their website, Fresh Junkie Racing. You can also check them out on their social media posts as well. They are phenomenal with that. Again, such a great group core of people that I've just gotten to know really well and gotten to call friends. And it is truly an honor to represent Fresh Junkie Racing as an ambassador. And if you're gonna sign up for any races with Fresh Junkie, use Run Your Story 15 to save you some money. You're welcome. Highly recommend that you guys do that. So, all right, guys, lace up those running shoes, get ready, and get set, and go run with my friend Helen and her Run Your Story. Thank you, Helen. I'm so excited. My other Fresh Junkie ambassador sister, because that's like...
Exactly.
Oh, man, it's been so cool because I got to be there when you got first overall at a local run for the Women's Resource Center. And I was like, what? It was amazing. So much fun. And then we've just connected, and that's hanging out together now. And so I love it. I love that Fresh Junkie brought us together.
Me too. That's the best part of this community is you meet people that you never would have.
Absolutely. Yes. So speaking of, what is your run story?
It started back when I got to college, honestly.
Okay.
I never ran track, never did cross country, nothing like that. But I got to college and I wasn't doing anything exercise-wise. I was just going to class, surviving. And I gained the freshman 15, freshman 20, and I was like, maybe I could pick up something. So I tried a couple of different things. I tried tennis with a friend, went to the gym, and then I was like, what if I tried running? Never thought I would love it, but I did. And I just started with a mile. And I mean, that first mile, I think I ran it in 15 minutes. Like it was just slow moving, but that was okay. And I stuck with it long enough where I got to see results. And that's when I got hooked. I was like, this is awesome. And it's carried me through so many different things because it carried me through college. I was able to just go run if I needed to think about something or figure something out in my head. And then when I graduated college and I started battling my addiction to alcohol, it became a safe place for me then when I finally got to that place of recovery and actually actively recovering, because that took me a couple of rounds of rehab to get there, but that was okay. And now that I've been actively running and I'll be celebrating 4 years sober in December, it's like I can look back and see all my milestones of that along with my running and how it carried me. And just that something so simple can really impact somebody and be a part of their recovery journey in so many ways. So
that's beautiful. Oh man, absolutely. And I've become such a big fan of yours because you are such an encourager. And okay, I will also say this. You are such a photogenic runner. It's very unfair. It's so, don't even try. I've seen your pictures post-race, and I'm like, what is happening? Like, I love it so much. Oh man, you are such a kind soul and just so authentic. And when we first met and we connected, you told me part of your story, and I was like, I have to have you on the podcast. Like, it's just because I know who you are now, not who you were.
Yeah.
And that's just wow. I absolutely love that. So I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
It's incredible.
Definitely a journey, but hills and valleys. And that's the best part about it. Once you reach those hills, the valleys were worth it.
Both in life and in running.
Yes, literally. Yep.
So let's talk about, obviously, there's been some lessons learned from running.
Yeah.
So what are some that you want to share? Goodness.
Recovery is important in sobriety and in running. But really, I have an addictive personality. So when it came to running, I felt like I had to run every day. If I didn't run every day, I was not accomplishing anything. And I started to see that, and I wasn't getting faster. I wasn't getting stronger. I wasn't seeing the results I had immediately seen. And being a results-driven person, I was like, this isn't cool. And so it took me stepping back and looking at the bigger picture and realizing I needed to also prioritize taking care of me and taking those rest days, wearing the proper shoes, not running if I didn't want to run, because some days you don't want to.
That's right, yeah.
And that was also my body telling me, hey, we can rest today. And that was a huge turning point in my racing and in my running, seeing the benefits of recovery and that it does actually make you a better runner. And also cross training and doing other activities outside of just running, that's helped me immensely. And also made me faster, which has been cool to see too. Right. I'm like, what? That made me faster? I thought I just had to run, but it's like, no, strength training and bar workouts, Pilates, all of those things come together, and your body is multiple organs and multiple muscles working all together. So you got to train each one differently, and that's been cool to see too.
Oh, I love that, because I'm a huge believer in strength training and core work, like just not only that, but also trying to help with injury prevention, because we want to be able to do this for the rest of our lives, like until we can't anymore.
Yes.
And so the way to do that as saying, hey, I need to be able to do strength days and, like you said, other things too, because burnout and running is real too. So yeah. Good for you. I love that. It's such a great perspective of
Yeah.
recovery, not just mentally, but also physically
Yes.
from the sport. I like that.
It's okay to be a couch potato.
I like that. Yes. I'm down for that.
You got to do it. You got to do it.
You're like, Helen told me I had to be a couch potato today. I'm good.
Yeah, I promise. I promise.
So, what is your favorite race and why?
This is tough. Oh, gosh. I want to say it had to be the St. Jude half marathon in
okay.
Memphis. It was my first half marathon, and it was in 2015. I was 20 years old, and I had not done, I'd done like a 2-mile run or a 5K I randomly signed up for in high school that we had to do for charity. But this was my first race I had trained for. I was really taking it seriously, and it was just so impactful. And the crowd support, it was nonstop. And then you run through St. Jude Research Park, and you see the patients. And I probably cried 3 or 4 times.
Sure.
Yeah. But I look back, and I feel like that was when I realized, okay, this is something I can do for me, and also for others.
Sure.
And it was really impactful.
Man, I know everyone that's done that race. They're like, man, it gets you every time.
It's something else. I don't think I would ever be like a half marathon repeater, if that makes sense,
Sure.
Like I want to do multiple half marathons,
Sure.
but maybe not the same one over and over again. But I would do St. Jude every year just because of how special it was.
Okay. That's amazing. Oh, let's talk about pre-race, because I know you got to have a pre-race.
It starts with the night before.
Okay.
Depending on the length of the race, a half marathon, I love going to the Chinese buffet.
Okay.
That is my carb load, and that is where I go. I love a Chinese buffet. Like, it is my jam, and my husband loves it too. But when we get home, carb loading's done. I set out my bib, set out my hat I plan on wearing, and it's normally my same hat I've worn for, I think, every race. And set out my hat, sunglasses if it's going to be sunny, and I recently just became a sunglass runner. I know that's weird, but I found some I actually like, and I'm like, okay. And all that set out, and my flip belt if I plan on not holding my phone while I run, because if it's a 5K, I'll hold my phone. I know this is probably all kind of silly sounding.
No, I love that.
But
I was going to ask you, why hold your phone for a 5K? I
feel like otherwise the flip belt kind of annoys me.
Okay.
But if I'm running that long of a distance, then my phone's going to annoy me. And it's like catch-22. And I like having my phone so I can change the music easier than on my watch.
Sure. Okay. That's fair.
But yeah, so for 5K, I normally hold my phone. Any race distance longer than that, I wear a flip belt.
Okay. I like it.
But yeah, have all that laid out. And if it's a half, I always have some type of fuel. Cliff Shot blocks are normally my go-to.
Okay. Cool. You cross the finish line. Then what does Helen do?
Oh, goodness. It's one of those moments where you're breathing heavy and you're in shock for a second. Your legs are still deciding if they're supposed to be moving or not. You're like, wait, are you sure? Like, is this it? And you cross the finish line, and it just one of those moments where you have to turn and look around you and just see, and then you start seeing other people finish, and you start seeing the excitement on their faces, and just all the efforts that go into races and all the behind the scenes, and just have a moment for yourself. And then I normally try to find a good place to stretch.
That's amazing. What is your favorite running item? Like, you're like, I will not go run without this item.
My hat.
Okay.
Yeah. I have to have a hat now. And I never thought I'd be like a hat runner, but it's I guess my head sweats really bad. So like,
that's hilarious.
But it's just like, it's like a safety blanket. I'm able to get in my own world. And when I have my hat on, and I know, like, and I have hats that aren't for running.
Right.
But when I put on my running hats, I'm like, this is what I've come to do. And
I'm here to do business.
I'm here to do business. It's like
business attire.
Yeah, literally, Yeah.
The hat. We love the hat.
Yes. Yeah, 100%. I had an employer tell me one time, whenever I come to work, as I'm walking in the door to work, I would always knock on it and then open the door, and that was me kind of leaving everything behind.
Oh,
And
okay.
it was kind of like, all right, I'm here to do my job, and I don't want to leave everything behind. I want to bring me with it, but just leave behind the bad stuff for a second, or just leave behind any worries, so I'm able to do the best job I can do.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel when I put on my hat. It's all right, my hat's on, and if I need to think about something or work through something, I'm allowed to do that, but I'm also going to give myself this space to enjoy the run and enjoy and see what my body is capable of.
Okay, so I love hats too. And now I'm like, is this like a psychological thing that I do as well that I just didn't know? Interesting.
It's
okay.
Ever since I've become sober, my husband laughs. He goes, you just are so thoughtful about things. I'm like, well, there was a lot of time where I probably wasn't thinking. So maybe I'm making up for that. So don't overthink your hat too much. It might just be me.
Oh no, I love it. I'm like, because I shared earlier, it was so great to find out that you guys are hat junkies too, because we're at Battleship 12K, I just bought a hat.
Yes.
If you ask my husband, he's like, you don't need another hat. But I'm like, but I love hats. And like the memories that like, it's one of those things that like, I like a good hat. And you said you called it a safety blanket. And I'm like, maybe that's it too. I just never thought about it.
It is. It's just, I know it's because I've gone on a run where I've forgotten something.
Sure, yeah.
And like my sunglasses, but I never forget my hat. So
that's
it's
amazing.
Just, I know that's like muscle memory now.
So you hear that, Gray? My hat's like, I need my hat.
Yes.
There we go.
She needs her hat.
That's her. I love that. I can just see the eye rolls now. Oh my gosh, there's more hats coming. That is just, oh man, I just love that so much. Okay. Favorite running shoes?
I stumbled upon I ran my first half in the A6 Gel Nimbus, and I think at that time they were like the Gel Nimbus 12s.
Okay.
And now they're up to the Gel Nimbus 25. But they have redone that shoe, and it is incredible. So comfortable. I don't find myself running through them as fast. They hold up well, and they're lightweight. Just a great shoe, all around great shoe. But now
that's what I was hoping.
I know. I have another friend in running, and she introduced me to the New Balance Fuel Cell trainers, which I had some credit card points, and I was like, Battleship 12K is coming up. I would love a nice pair of shoes for race day, because my Asics were also getting a little rough looking. So I was like, it's time. So I just did my first run in the New Balance yesterday, and wow, they have a carbon plate in them, and they are so springy, and they make it fun. Like I already look forward to runs for the most part, but when you have a good pair of shoes, you really look forward to a run.
Oh, I'm so glad you brought that up, because that's one of the things I like to tell people is like your shoes should make you smile.
Yeah.
Like they should get you hyped up. I'm about to put you on and we're going to go for a run.
Yes.
So I love it.
It means the world.
Like, and your shoes look sharp too.
Oh yeah.
Like I was like, okay, Helen, I see you.
These are spiffy. Like I'm going to kick my legs in the air while I run, just so people see my new shoes.
Do my shoes make me look fast?
Yes,
Helen, you're fast.
I don't know. I'm probably going to lose seconds in time on my miles because I'm going to be so excited about my shoes.
I love that. It's awesome.
But that's okay. They make me smile.
Absolutely. So you talked about longer runs, having the cliff. Is there anything else that you like to take with you for longer runs for fuel-wise?
I love the Cliff Shot blocks.
Okay.
I guess it was because those are what I tried when I ran the St. Jude half, and then all the other halves I've only used those. I know a lot of people like the Goos. I've never actually tried one. Okay. But they also kind of scare me. Just
fair.
It seems like a weird consistency that I don't know, but I like the Cliff Shot blocks because it's almost like a gummy, and so I can do that. And Scratch Labs is a cool company, and they have a green tea chew that
interesting.
Oh yeah, it is.
Okay.
But it's the coolest flavor, and it's not overly sweet.
Okay.
And I have used those on long runs as well. So those would be my two contenders.
For your Cliff, is there a certain flavor that you like the best?
The watermelon.
Okay.
Yes.
We didn't even skip a beat for that.
The watermelon. Yes.
Besides Memphis, because that was your first half, is there a favorite running memory that you're like, I treasure that so much? Okay.
Yes. It would be my second half marathon, which I did not run until 2021 it was 2022.
Okay.
With my friend Morgan. It was the Seaside half in Seaside, Florida.
Okay.
And I had run into her randomly in the line of Taco Mama. That's where we met. And yeah, we were in line, and her husband was there. My husband was on the way to meet me. We ended up chatting in line while waiting to order. And after we put in our orders, my husband turns to them and he goes, "Do y'all want to sit with us?" And I was like, "Zach, they might think that's weird." And they were like, "No, we'd love that."
Aww.
And they sat with us, and we have become great friends with them. But literally a month later, I was texting her. This is a new friend, out the door, brand new. And I was nervous. I was like, this is either going to scare her away or we're going to be best friends forever. And I was like, "Do you want to run a half marathon with me?" That's hilarious. I was like, this is going to go one of two ways. And because she had mentioned, she's like, "I ran the Nashville half when I was in college, and that was her first half experience." And I was telling her, "Oh, I ran Memphis." And she's like, "I'm from Memphis." And I was like, "Oh, we've bonded. She's going to say yes." And thankfully, she said yes. And so we started training together. And that was also my second year of sobriety. And that was this sweet spot I hit where I was comfortable enough, and I was starting to reintroduce things in my life that had been in there previously that I felt could be unhealthy, and was also realigning who my friend group was and who I wanted to surround myself with that supported my recovery. And she was a huge part of that, and also helped push me out of my sober bubble that I had built for myself.
Okay.
Because you build one of those in your first year of sobriety, because you're like, this is about me. I am protecting my peace. Right now, it's day by day, second by second.
Wow.
Just trying that. But long story short, we ran that race together in Seaside, and I mean, it was tough. There is a hill in Florida when they say Florida is flat, and Florida is not flat. 38 is not flat, because that hill about took us out. But we ran it, and we ran across the finish line, and right before we ran across it, she grabbed my hand and held it up. I mean, it was like a rocky moment.
Aww.
And it just reinforced that I was on the right path, and that I was doing what I needed to do for me in so many ways. And that'll be my favorite running memory, probably forever.
I love that so much. Oh, man. I love how it reinforces that you had found your people.
Yes.
And running. You're like, I have found. Oh, that's amazing. What a story. Okay, let's talk about you crossed the finish line, and you're like, I want to eat. What is your favorite meal? What is something that you're like, I have to go find?
It's normally pizza.
Okay.
I love pizza after a run. But it's gotta be hot and like really good. All the toppings, all the cheeses, I want it all.
Okay.
That, or I really love a Firehouse sub. Like the Italian sub from Firehouse, I don't know what they put in that, but they know what they're doing. And it is delicious, and just like the perfect post-race fuel.
That's it. Hey, I never thought about them. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know why, but it's like my go-to craving.
Yeah.
I love it.
Okay. I listen, I like their jerk chicken.
Ooh, I haven't tried that.
Good. So good.
I feel like when you're a kid and you go to a sub place, you pick the same sub and you never order anything different ever again. Every time I go to Subway, I always get a sweet onion chicken teriyaki.
Okay.
I will try nothing else. And then every time I go to Firehouse, I get the Italian.
That's hilarious.
But if the jerk chicken is good, I might have to venture out.
I was like, here I am, like, this is my favorite. And Helen's like, yeah, you can have that.
Yeah.
But I'll have this.
Yeah. We pick our favorite sub, and that is it for the rest of our life.
It's hilarious. Okay, you mentioned music. So what is your running jams?
Oh, goodness. If I'm running just me and just fun run, short run, I love listening to books. I listen to books like crazy.
Okay.
And I've been able to finish more books that way, which has been awesome. And it's it's good and bad because especially if it's a sad book, I'll start crying while I'm running. I'm like, oh my gosh, like, oh. But at least I'm not focusing on my legs hurting.
Right. My heart's hurting, but not my legs.
Oh yeah, and I'm like, this is probably a little dramatic. My neighbor's out walking their dog, and I'm over here boo-hooing on mile 3, and they're probably like, is she okay? I'm like, I'm fine. But race day, sometimes I'll do a podcast, but race day, I create several different playlists that, I mean, range from like musical theater, like I love like The Greatest Showman.
Oh, it's those so songs, good. Oh, yes.
Those will pump you up.
Absolutely.
Oh, I am running and I'm just like imagining myself dancing with the cast of The Greatest Showman. And they absolutely don't want me, but I'm there with them in my brain. But
I'm with you.
It'll range from that to hip hop to rap, just anything that has a good beat, because I do have a history of being a dancer, so I have to have a good beat. I have to have something that just makes me want to dance, and then that keeps pushing me forward. So.
I love that. Okay, I don't have a history of dancing, but I have a history of dancing in my kitchen.
Hey, that's what they're there for.
However, my family disagrees with that statement. They would say, no, Helen, you haven't seen her dance. That would be the problem. Food makes me happy. So I'm like, hey, we got food.
Exactly.
Or for like at the finish line, you're like, hey, music's playing. There's going to be dancing.
Yeah.
But it won't be Helen style. It won't be nowhere.
No, I am out of practice. So right now it is all in the brain. It is all in the brain and maybe occasionally in the shower. And that is it. But otherwise, I don't want to slip and fall. So
fair. Very fair. What is your favorite recovery tool?
Besides I'm kidding.
No.
Sorry. Sorry. I can't be sober and not
that was the way.
Not make
I was
a joke
not
of
expecting that. And I was like, oh, okay, sure. If that's sure, it's your story, babe. Your story.
Oh gosh. Oh goodness. Different type of recovery.
You're like, yes. Oh, you meant running.
Oh, you meant running. Yes. Okay. Besides what I need for my sobriety, a foam roller. It does everything. It does everything. And I did get one of those off-brand Theraguns. And those are great too, especially after a half.
Sure.
Because my legs, they don't want to work. So foam roller for sure. That you can't go without.
You can't go without. Yeah. Get down and dirty with that thing, don't you? Okay.
Oh yeah.
So let's talk about going into cross training, because you did mention bar and strength training. So you live in Fairhope area.
Yes.
So where all do you do all this at?
Yes. So I actually go to Fit Fairhope, and it's a gym I stumbled upon. I thought about doing just bar classes, and because I love ballet and bar classes reminded me of that. We're very similar. But I was like, I don't want to do that every day. Or only that and running. I wanted a variety. But I stumbled upon Fit Fairhope, and they offer everything from bar classes to Pilates. They have a bricks class where we step up and down on cinder blocks, and it is the most fun.
Interesting.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
But it is such a cool workout they've created. And they also have hip hop. I'll do hip hop class.
Fair.
It's fun. They turn the lights off, so it's great. Like you're in the dark, you're in your brain, you can do whatever. Nobody sees it.
I look like this.
Yeah, it's great. However, but they just have a variety of classes. So it just helps me mix things up when I need it. But cardio bar and just bar tone has helped me so much with my running. Just those little muscles that you don't think about.
Sure.
It really helps tone those and finesse them, and it just helps me gain those extra few seconds on a mile, and I appreciate that.
And with your new fancy shoes.
Oh yes, the shoes really did it.
Oh my heavens. So what is a race that you're like, yeah, I don't think I'll go back and do that one?
That's hard. I feel like, okay, this is going to go backwards because I loved that memory I had in Seaside, but I don't think I would go back and do that race again. It is an out and back, and that's fine. I know a lot of people love that, but if I'm running 13.1 miles, I want to see so many different things.
Correct.
And it was a good race and a challenging one, but I don't think I would go back and do it just because I want to see something different. But that also brings me back to, I don't want to be a half marathon repeater. Like, I want to do all the half marathons, but only once.
So fun fact, Lisa said the exact same thing.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
About Seaside?
Yeah. Yes. But she talked about how it was because the roads were like weird.
Yeah.
And so she was like, yeah, I don't like that race.
It was so unexpected.
She was like, I love the Vera Bradley aspect.
Oh yeah, that was
like, but the roads, not so much.
Yeah, love the backpack, but yeah, it was.
That's hilarious that you guys both said the same race.
I know, that is really funny. Yeah, it was. Love Seaside, love the town. I just wish there was more variety in that course.
It's very fair. I'm with you.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, look, I've already seen that.
Yeah. Like, I've seen that tree. Yeah. Like, I'm dying right now. I need to see something. Give me something.
Let's say that somebody's like, Helen, I want to get into running. What is a piece of advice you would give them?
Good shoes. Don't cheap out on shoes. And I know there are so many different options out there that you test them all if you can. Because I feel like even now I'm going on for 5 years really steadily running, and I feel like I've just now found the shoe I love. So try different shoes, run in them, give them the time they need and the time you need to figure it out. And also don't stop. Even if your mile, it takes you 20 minutes or takes you 30 minutes. Keep going, because you're going to see results, but it's not going to be overnight.
Yeah.
But once you start seeing those results, it'll be more rewarding than anything you've ever done, or at least I've ever done. I know that for a fact.
That's so good. That's so good. What are your goals, my friend?
I've put my name in for the Chicago.
What?
So I put my name.
Exciting!
Yes.
Okay.
Put my name in for the Chicago General Lottery. I find out December 7th, and I really hope so. It would be so much fun because I have yet to run a full. I've only done halves, so this may not be my first full if I do get into Chicago, because I'm thinking about doing a couple in Louisiana. Yes. Coming up in January, February, but that's a huge goal of mine. I would ultimately love to eventually do Chicago, New York. Boston would be amazing. Boston would be incredible. And even take it across the ocean and do Paris and Tokyo.
You're going for majors.
Like, I want to do. I would love that. I just think I already love to travel, and throw this in there with it. Those would be huge goals of mine. And even run a race in every state. And I think that would be fun too.
Girl, those are some goals. Yeah. I love that.
Yeah. But one thing sobriety's taught me is that if I can be sober, I can do anything. And anybody can do anything. Because if I wake up and that's the hardest thing I've done today, then other things aren't that hard.
Wow. Oh, man. Let's talk about your mantra. Talking about days that are hard. What is something that you tell yourself? Whether it's a rough run, a rough day.
I want to say no excuses. And I mean that I don't want it to be taken in the way of no excuses. You have to keep going. You have to keep pushing. It's no excuses in that, okay, you had a hard day, but that doesn't mean every day after this is going to be hard. And that you know what excuses look like. You've made them in the past when you were in active addiction. You know what those excuses look like, and you don't want to tolerate it anymore because you're at a point now where a day could be hard, but you've done harder things. So that's ultimately how I view it, and it's what pushes me forward.
That's so good. Wow, that's amazing. Whether in training or on race day, what is your favorite length to run?
I love a 5K.
Okay. That's because, you know why you love a 5K? Because you're overall winner.
Okay, yes, maybe so. Because I know if I can do anything, I can run fast for 3.1 miles. I can do that. But recently I did run the Pensacola half, and it was awesome because I had a huge PR. And honestly, I I think it's between a 5K and a half. I just think those are just fun distances. They offer different things. You can be a beginner in both.
That's what I love. That's fair. Yeah.
Is that you can be a beginner in both, and it doesn't matter. It's just, they offer so much, each in their own way.
Yeah. What a great perspective. I haven't even thought of it like that. That's really good. So good. All right. When you're not running, not traveling, what do you like to do, my friend? What are you passionate about?
I get to help my dad he owns a small restaurant and baking company over in Fairhope. He cures and smokes his own small batch bacon, and it's just a little honky tonk joint, and it's such a fun place. I got my degree in hospitality, and I get to help him a lot with events and catering. So it's fun. We do a lot of charcuterie stuff, and I get to be creative in a way that I didn't know I could be creative. That's really what I love to do and help him on the side with, especially with the social media, trying to come up with funny videos for TikTok and Instagram. And he's normally down for it, so I'm like, all right, let's go.
Here we go. I will say, you personally have a fun social media, because you'll be like, we love the pig, and you're talking about Piggly Wiggly.
Oh yeah,
like it's so fun.
I'm a top fan on Facebook, and I am proud of that. That is going on my resume. I have a top fan badge for the Piggly Wiggly.
It's awesome. I'm like, what is she? You're like, we're at the pig. I'm like, what is she doing there now?
I love the Piggly Wiggly.
It's amazing. I love that so much. Any final words of wisdom, my friend?
Just keep going. There's so much to see, so much to do, and don't stop dreaming, because what you think you want, and then you reach that, and that there's so much more out there, and that the limit does not exist, and there's so much more you can see and do and achieve, and you're capable of so much more than you realize. And I think once we stop limiting ourselves and stop using the word just, stop saying I'm just this or I'm just that, you are this, you are that, then you will start to see results. And that is what I just hope people hear today when I speak.
That is such a great perspective, because when you ask people like, oh, are you doing the 5K, 10K, or I'm just doing the 5K, or I'm just going to walk. No, you're doing it.
You're doing it.
I love that so much that you said that. That is so much truth into that, because you're still out there, you're still putting in the work, or like, I'm a back of the pack runner. But I've learned to embrace that. So I'm not like, I'm just a back of the pack runner. You're right. Like, just say it. Like, hey, this is where we are.
Yeah.
And so
don't
we get faster.
Discount yourself.
Yes. Oh, that's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's something I have to constantly remind myself, because I feel like even as women, we're so quick to cut ourselves down. And
100%.
It's like, no, I am this. I am that. I know my worth. And once you know that, the price becomes higher and higher.
Oh. Man, thank you so much.
Thank you.
For not only your friendship, but your story and what you bring to the running community. So, and what you bring to Fresh Junkies. Like, so excited that we've connected that way. And like I said, a soul sister for life. So, thank you.
Thank you.
What a story. And I'll never forget when I met Helen in person, like I said, at the Women's Resource Center run in Sims. Oh my heavens. She right then and there started telling me part of her story, and I was like, I have to get you on the podcast. She's just that open. She is who she is. She's very authentic and genuine, and I feel like Fresh Junkie has given me built-in besties now. Like, that's honestly how I feel. Like, it's so good. I am better for knowing Helen. We text often now. She's stuck with me for life. I just absolutely adore her. She is such an incredible human being. And let's also talk about how photogenic she is when she crosses the finish line. It's annoying. I will say that. And I did tell her that. I was like, it's so annoying how good she looks. But in all seriousness, thank you, Helen, for your story. And thank you for what you bring to our running community. And your heart is so big and so genuine. And absolutely adore you, my friend. So Thank you for this honor to be able to share your story. And you are just so great at everything that you do. And I have no doubt you are going to accomplish all those incredible goals that you have, my friend. And I will be cheering you along the way because, yeah, that's my pace for you. So excited for Helen. And again, guys, love to get you connected with her. She's absolutely fantastic. And again, like she said, her dad makes really good bacon and they have a great restaurant. So there's also that. So I feel like we should go meet up in Fairhope one day and eat after we run. There's an idea. Guys, thank you so much for listening to Helen's story. It's just absolutely incredible. And thank you so much again, because this podcast is powered by Fresh Junkie Racing. Could not do this without our sponsors. They make our partnerships. They make sure that this podcast keeps going, along with our Patreon supporters. Woo! Love me some Patreon supporters. They are absolutely fantastic. They allow us to be able to keep this going because it does cost to host a podcast. And we go the extra mile with editing. Thank you, Greg Gilliard from Gilliard Tech Services, and with Mars Hill for providing such a safe place for us to be able to record. And again, it takes a community to put all of this together. Also, like, share, and comment on Helen's post. Also, like all the other ones. That's how your stories get out there. That's how people come across it. And so we are truly thankful when you guys do that. So get involved with Run Your Story by liking, sharing, commenting, become a Patreon supporter. Meet up with all of these people that have shared their stories, because they are really incredible people. And I mean it when I say that I am better for knowing them. Like, I walk away from an interview going, that was insane. Like, that was so good. And I think nothing will ever top that. And then I interview someone else. I'm like, well, that was so good. And it just keeps going, because every story, it needs to be heard. And that's why we say what we say here at Run Your Story, is that every story needs to be heard, because your story connects you to someone else. And then that person connects you to someone else. And it's absolutely phenomenal. And so thank you to this running community. Thank you to Fresh Junkie Racing and what you guys do, to our Patreon supporters, to just the community as a whole, for making sure this podcast gets listened to and shared, because again, your stories, they need to be heard, guys. So get out there and run those stories.